There was like a one very fun comment. I cannot find it now. Maybe the guy used different term, but this comment basically said that I'm supposed to stop swapping like that. I am not the fucking boss. I do not have second phase. Something like that. It's it was pretty good. Overall, I have like a huge problem with understanding people that essentially want the skill ceiling to get lowered. Because this is what you're essentially do. If you are going to remove the weapon swapping, you are going to lower the skill ceiling of the game. The fact, for example, I'm running right now with, let's use these guys like for the testing purposes. I'm using like the greatsword, yeah? Then I'm waiting. I swap into R2. I surprise my opponent. It adds to the game. Like, how much more interesting this fight was than you're boring like running after enemy using like one weapon moveset. I don't know, like I think it is just better. I personally, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just like my opinion, but I find it just so much more interesting. Also, it adds to build crafting. You need to organize equipment based on quickest way to get the correct weapon for the correct situation. That is like, yeah. I don't see like how in any way, shape or form it would remove from the game. It only adds to the game. Weapon swapping is tight. Skills are appreciated. Yeah, that's the point. Not really. Like, it seems like there is particular part of the audience that kind of think otherwise, that the weapon swapping overall is basically kind of cheating. And like the question is, are they really thinking like it is just something unhealthy for the game, or it is coping mechanism to basically, you know, justify yourself for not devoting enough of time into the game to learn basically additional mechanic? It's coping. Like, I don't know, like I cannot say, like maybe some people are probably coping, some people have like legitimate thoughts that are like, you know, related to the concerns of the overall game balance. But yeah, like the thing is, even if that would be the case, I had very interesting talk with very cool viewer that also thought that perhaps weapon swapping is rather something that I shouldn't do. Here his logic behind the whole argument was that like you kind of cheating the game when it comes to its systems, that you have these additional slots that's supposed to be there for the additional weapons that you are using. Essentially the whole point is swapping technically takes away from this mechanic, and because of that it's just like kind of hurting overall builds and so on. Yeah, the whole craft theory behind build making, yeah, you could say so. The thing is that like I have answered to the guy that I just disagree with him, because in my opinion, if we are going to take away hard swapping from the game, people most likely are going to use Faith build in the competitive, and that's gonna be pretty much the only build type that people are going to use. Why? It is because Faith allows you to cast different damage type spells and still be competitive, and on top of that you can apply the self buffs while still using a weapon that is of, for example, holy damage type, or even like split or something like that. It might use the flame art, it might use holy, or it might even use like regular physical type of damage. So why that would be the case? It is because it is very easy in this game to stack more than 60% of defenses against one particular type of damage. It is very simple, because you have consumables that just give you straight out of the bat shit tons of defenses, yeah? Not even talking about more powerful buffs like Black Flame Protection, for example. That gives you like 35% more defenses against physical. So yeah, if you are going to remove the hard swap, you are essentially not going to allow physical builds to have any sort of the counter to people that are going to stack physical defenses. In the future, I think like minimal swapping, even let's call it pre-match swapping or something like that, it's going to be absolute standard. For an example, if your build wants to use Dragon Bolt, there is no point to go all the way to 21 faith points. Instead, you can level up faith attributes to 16 and swap ring to the one that gives you 5 faith points. Then cast the spell and then swap it back. And like, it is going to be standard. People have to learn how to swap the weapons, at least like to some extent. You can get Dragon Bolt on 9 faith. You need to triple swap. Oh yeah, like there is like possibility, yeah? Imagine a new player facing an opponent that will actually weapon swap to a different weapon with each hit, which is very possible with high skill. It's like playing against LeBron James trying to step foot into the NBA. But like, it's true, but you're probably supposed to blame From Software for not having skill-based matchmaking, yeah? I mean, first of all, it is not even a competitive game, yeah? I think those who won't learn how to play with swapping will just slowly lose interest in PvP or only have their own fight clubs, where it is not allowed, and those who wanna take PvP more seriously will have their own group. But most like those who don't learn are just gonna stop playing, cause they're only making the game more simple. Might be the case. It's having like somewhat of the relatively high skill ceiling is important for games. Yeah, absolutely you don't need to. Like, I'm gonna say it like that, SK. You don't need to hard swap, but if you don't want to sacrifice plenty of important attribute points in the build making, it's always good to still like have that ability to just even like very slowly hard swap that one weapon. You know, just for the sake of to counter situation when someone stacks defenses against you, because yeah, otherwise, well, it's tough. I think I'm going to crush new players regardless of weapon swapping, and it doesn't matter either way. Well, you will. It's like, you know, the game, there is like a huge gap between someone that just jumps to PvP after playing PvE, as these games play completely differently in PvP. Man, that's terrible. This connection between us is so fucking bad, dude. Man, like I cannot really outspace the guy because of the latency that we have. Well, it's not that people who hard swap are impossible to beat because they swap weapons. They are OP because skill and experience. I mean, like, hard swapping, to be honest, if not done correctly. In my case, for an example, I know when someone is usually hard swapping. When I am fighting in the duels, it is very clear when someone is hard swapping, when someone is the menus. If the person is like good enough at hard swapping, I can just exploit it by having like a free hit. Yeah. Look, the guy, for an example, right now, he ate the Void Club. And I gotta have to eat too, otherwise I would be on huge disadvantage. My physical defenses right now are 44, Normally they would be like 10% less. It is only like a matter of one consumable.